Dirty Birds, buckle up, because Day 5 of Atlanta Falcons training camp just handed us more storylines than a season of reality TV, and honestly, at this point, somebody needs to put a camera crew on this offensive line room and call it Real Housewives of Flowery Branch. We've got a quarterback finally getting his shot, two franchise running backs playing the world's most expensive game of chicken, a star pass rusher quietly working his way back from an off-field storm, and a right tackle spot so chaotic it looks like musical chairs where somebody forgot to stop the music. Buckle up, because we're diving into all of it. Tua is back, baby, and it almost went terribly wrong. Let's start with the headline everybody's been waiting for. Tua Tagovailoa finally got the green light for 11 on 11 periods in training camp. This is a massive moment for a Falcons quarterback room that has felt like a soap opera all offseason. We've watched Jack Strand take the reins in impressively strong fashion through the first 4 practices. We've been anxiously counting down the days until Michael Penix is fully unleashed, and now on Day 5, on the very first padded practice of camp, Tua steps onto that field with the QB1 label hanging over him for the first time. And here's the thing, it did not start well. There's a video making the rounds, a little blurry, clearly a screen grab pulled straight from someone's phone at practice. But it tells the story anyway. Tua rolls into an out route to receiver Jahan Dotson, and instead of the ball hitting Dotson in stride, Dotson has to come back and fight for it. Not a great look. Then, just to twist the knife a little, the very next rep shows Michael Penix throwing that exact same route, except his throw is a laser, perfectly placed, right on time, hitting Dylan Drummond in stride like it was drawn up in a textbook. If you're a Falcons fan watching that split-screen moment, your stomach probably dropped a little. Was this going to be one of those welcome to camp, here's your reality check moments for Tua? But football, like all good drama, loves a comeback arc. As practice rolled on, Tua's day got dramatically better. And I mean dramatically. By the time the 11 on 11 period wrapped, multiple reports were calling one of his throws the best of the entire session. Picture this, a deep-in breaker thrown right over the outstretched arms of projected starting linebacker Christian Harris, connecting perfectly with Drake London. That's not a happy-to-be-here throw, that's a statement throw. That's a I know exactly what I'm doing out here throw. Now, let's be real about the numbers, because context matters. Tua wasn't out there airing it out 40 times. He only had 2 series where he actually threw the football, and 2 of those attempts were screen passes, one of which got blown up before it even had a chance to develop, and the other picked up a modest short gain. So when you add it all up, Tua finished a tidy 3 for 3 on the day. Efficient, if limited. The vast majority of the 11 on 11 reps are still going to Cooper Rush and, especially, Jack Strand, who remains the guy getting the lion's share of throws through the first 4 practices and again today. Strand has been a legitimate storyline in his own right, and he is not just going quietly into that quarterback competition. But here's why Tua's Day 5 matters so much more than the box score suggests. It's not about the volume, it's about the vibe. This was the first time all camp that Atlanta's QB1 candidate was out there mixing it up with the starters in a live, padded 11 on 11 setting. That's a building block. That's the trajectory of this quarterback competition officially starting to take shape. One rocky rep followed by one gorgeous, over-the-linebacker dime to Drake London. That's a heck of a first impression to leave, warts and all. Trajectory, Dirty Birds. That's the word of the day. This team, this quarterback room, heading into week 2 of camp, the trajectory is trending in the right direction. And that Tua throw to London might end up being the moment we all point back to. Bijan Robinson, still holding in, still smiling, still not getting paid all right. Let's move to the story that has been looming over this entire training camp like a storm cloud that just won't break. Bijan Robinson's contract situation. And look, I want to be careful with the language here, because holdout and holden are two very different animals, and what we're watching right now is very clearly a holden. Bijan is at practice. He's in his Falcons jersey. He's tossing the football around with teammates before and after sessions. He's laughing, cracking jokes, being present, being a good teammate, doing everything right, except actually practicing football. He's there in body, he's there in spirit, he is just not on the field taking reps. And that's a very deliberate, very calculated stance from a player who knows exactly what he's worth and is patiently waiting for the front office to agree. And here's a fascinating little wrinkle to this story. Bijan is not the only star running back doing this exact dance right now. Over in Detroit, Jahmyr Gibbs is running the identical playbook, showing up, wearing the gear, cracking jokes with his teammates, present, engaged, supportive, but also very much not signing off on taking live reps until his money situation gets sorted. It's basically the same story playing out in two different cities, and if you're a fan of either team, you're watching the exact same soap opera with a different cast. Here's my read on the whole situation, and I think it's the correct one. This is not really a game of chicken between the running backs. This is a game of chicken between front offices, because both sides know exactly how this works. Whichever team blinks first and signs their guy sets the market, and the team that finalizes their deal second ends up paying their running back even more. So both front offices are essentially waiting each other out, hoping the other team moves first so they can pay a slightly smaller number. It's petty, it's frustrating for fans, but it's also just smart, cold-blooded business. And the frustrating part for Falcons fans specifically? We just watched a signal that the money is clearly available and clearly moving. Offensive lineman Matthew Bergeron just became tied for the highest-paid guard in the entire NFL at a staggering $24 million per year. $24 million for a guard. And you know what Bergeron said publicly after getting that deal done? He specifically praised how professionally general manager Terry Fontenot and head coach Raheem Morris, credited as Matt Ryan and Ian Cunningham in this instance, but effectively the front office leadership handled those negotiations. Professional, smooth, get it done. So if the front office can move that fast, that smoothly, and that generously for a guard, what in the world is the holdup with your best offensive player? Your engine? Your electric? Do everything running back who might be the single most valuable non-quarterback on this entire roster? It's time. It's genuinely time. Every single day this drags out is a day of practice reps Bijan Robinson is missing, timing he's not building with his quarterback, whoever that ends up being, and chemistry he's not developing heading into the season. So, Dirty Birds, here's your job. If you want BR7 back on that practice field, taking real reps, building real chemistry ahead of the season, smash that thumbs up button right now. Let's get some good vibes flowing toward the negotiating table. We know he's getting paid. We know it's going to be a record-setting deal for a Falcons running back. The only question left is when. Let's make it soon. James Pierce Jr. is practicing, and that, believe it or not, is great news now. Let's shift over to a storyline that's been quietly bubbling in the background for months. James Pierce Jr. If you've been in the comments asking about him, and clearly a lot of you have, here is your update. He is practicing. There is proof of life. Video has surfaced of him warming up on the field, and multiple reports confirm he's back in full pads. Quick refresher for anyone who needs it, this has been a long, complicated, off-the-field legal situation dating all the way back to February. There have been court proceedings, documents filed, plenty of speculation swirling around, and frankly, it's been one of those stories that's just hung over this Falcons defense without any real resolution. As of right now, the NFL still hasn't issued any official ruling or update on his status league-wide. It's still very much a waiting game. But here's the genuinely on 11 or 7-on-7 window during practice that's designed to let younger, less established players get extended run and make a statement. On one recent practice day, that veteran and opportunity mix on the defensive side included Pierce alongside names like Falamauga, Avion Terrell, and Kobe Bryant, and in today's opportunity window specifically. It was actually Michael Penix getting extra run in a 7-on-7 setting. Again, that chance to shine window for guys who need the extra reps. So what does that tell us? It tells us the coaching staff, led by Kevin Stefanski's crew, still speaks incredibly highly of Pierce. There's been real, genuine praise for how he's carrying himself and performing early in camp. But they also seem to be managing his workload carefully, whether that's about easing him back in physically, managing the ongoing off-field situation, or simply building him up gradually rather than throwing him straight into the fire with the starters. Whatever the exact reasoning, the top line is this: James Pierce Jr. is on the field, he's practicing, his teammates seem to understand what he's been carrying, and that in itself is a win worth celebrating, even while we all continue waiting on the league office to actually make a decision on his status. The right tackle room is an absolute mess right now, Dirty Birds, we arrive at the story that should genuinely worry you if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan. Because unlike Bijan's situation, which is really just a matter of time and money, this one is a real live on-field problem with zero easy fix in sight. The right tackle position for this Falcons team is spiraling into chaos, and it starts with the fact that starter Jawaan Taylor entered training camp on the PUP list and, as of day 5, still has not been cleared to practice. He's not in pads. He's not doing team drills. He's simply not available, and there's no clear public timeline for when that changes. With Taylor sidelined, the right tackle spot has essentially turned into an open casting call, and on this first padded practice, we saw 3 different players: Michael Jarrell, rookie Ethan Onaya, and Brandon Walton, all rotating through first-team reps at the position. On one hand, there's a silver lining buried in here. Watching a rookie like Ethan Onaya step up and actually earn meaningful first-team padded reps is genuinely exciting player development content. That's the kind of opportunity that can turn into a real training camp storyline of its own. But overall, if we're being honest about who's winning that competition so far, it's been Michael Jarrell. Practice after practice, since the very start of camp all the way through today, Jarrell has been the most consistent presence getting first-team reps at right tackle. Make of that what you will. Maybe he's simply improved significantly this offseason. Maybe he's just the most experienced option available right now. Either way, he's the current answer. Even if it's not necessarily the long-term one anybody's excited about. And then there's Wanya Morris, and this is where the story gets a little concerning. When Atlanta traded for Morris, most of us didn't expect him to be a Week 1 starter, but with Taylor out, it seemed logical to assume Morris would slide into that right tackle void as a stopgap. And there had been signs of exactly that. He even got some run at left tackle on days when starter Jake Matthews was given a scheduled rest day. But today, it was reported that both Wanya Morris and the defensive tackle Deshaun Hand left practice early with what are being described as potential injuries. That's obviously something to monitor extremely closely over the coming days, because it just adds another layer of instability to a right tackle situation that was already unstable to begin with. Here's why all of this actually matters, and matters a lot. Beyond just camp intrigue, right tackle is not we'll figure it out position for this specific roster. It's vital every single season for every single team, sure, because offensive tackles are the ones squaring off against the league's fastest, most explosive edge rushers on the outside. But for this Falcons team specifically, it's arguably even more critical, because Atlanta is set to start a left-handed quarterback. Read that again. A left-handed quarterback. That means the right tackle isn't protecting some throwaway backside, that's protecting the quarterback's blind side. That's the single most important pass protection assignment on the entire offensive line for this roster, And right now, it is a genuine question mark wrapped in an injury scare, wrapped in a who even is our starter uncertainty. So yes, the door is open for opportunity. Yes, it's fun watching a rookie like Onaya get reps, but make no mistake, this is a problem that needs solving, and needs solving relatively soon, because you cannot walk into the regular season without total clarity on who's protecting your quarterback's blindside. Get well soon, Jawaan Taylor. This offense needs you back in that lineup. Wrapping it up, so there you have it, Dirty Birds, Day 5 of Atlanta Falcons training camp in a nutshell. Tua finally getting his shot in 11-on-11s and bouncing back from a shaky start with one of the best throws of the entire practice. Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs running parallel holding campaigns while their front offices play an expensive game of chicken. James Pierce Jr. quietly, encouragingly back on the practice field even as his off-field situation remains unresolved. And a right tackle room that's gone from mildly concerning to genuinely chaotic with Jawaan Taylor still out and Wanya Morris now banged up too. This is exactly why you cannot afford to miss a single day of this training camp coverage. The news is coming fast, it's coming constant. And sometimes it's changing multiple times within a single practice. If you want to be the first to know the moment Bijan Robinson's contract gets done, the moment Jawaan Taylor is back in pads, or the moment this quarterback competition finally has a clear frontrunner, you need to be subscribed to this channel right now. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button so this video reaches even more Falcons fans, and drop a comment down below. Who do you think wins the starting quarterback job, Tua or Jack Strand? Let's talk about it. Rise up, Dirty Birds. We'll see you next time.